Welcome to the class. Let's start with the new topic that is the egg laying animals. As you know, in the previous class, we have discussed that there is a two ways of reproduction in animals, right? What were the two ways? The first way was egg laying animals, and the second was, yes, the animals which are giving birth to their young ones, right? So there are the two reproduction techniques through which the new animals are coming out from their parents, right? So now in this one, we are going to learn the example of the animals which are laying eggs. So how this eggs is going to develop into a new one, right? So different animals are there. You know that there are various classification of the animals based on the different criterias. So we are having different animals. Birds are there, mammals are there, reptiles are there, right? So how these animals reproduce, how they lay eggs, which kind of places will be there in which they are laying eggs, how they are providing protection to the young ones, right? So that is called egg laying animals, and we are going to learn the characteristics, the features of egg laying animals. So now, what do you see in this image? Yes, see, the labeling is done, so you know it. So egg is there, hatching is there, chick is there, bird is there. So various four stages are there. But from where we have to start? Now you know one bird is there, right? So after this bird is getting mature, it will lay eggs, right? They will lay eggs on the nest. You can find out this is a nest, right? So they will lay eggs in the nest. They will protect their nest, right? So they will lay eggs. After they lay eggs, when the baby is matured, the embryo, or you can say the developing baby which is matured in the egg, it will get hatched out. So that is the hatching stage. And after this stage, this baby chick will come out and it will be developed as a chick, right? So that is the fourth stage. After they are becoming mature, they are growing large in their size, it will become a bird. That is a particular bird. So that is the cycle. But what kind of cycle is there related to their life? So that is called life cycle. So whenever we are discussing some stages of their life, that is called life cycle. So in this one, we have discussed the life cycle of a bird, how they are growing, how they are laying eggs, and how from this egg we are getting a one particular bird. So when a bird is there, it will lay eggs. From this egg, it will get hatched out after getting some nutrients, and this will become a chick, and this chick will grow in their size and it will get mature to make a bird-like structure. Clear these things to you? So now we are going to learn about the birds. All birds reproduce by laying eggs. Yes. So most of the birds, all the birds will lay eggs. These birds will build nest to lay eggs as well as to raise their young ones. Because nest is a protection layer. As we are living in our house, birds are living on the nest, right? So they will lay eggs and they will raise their children, right? Because these eggs are their children, na? These eggs will be raised up by the birds in the nest. Within the egg, embryo goes through various developmental stages. As we have discussed in the reproduction part, that once the embryo was looking like this, a spot. After some time, it was looking like this, right? Inside the egg only. But when it comes out, it will look like this, right? So there are various developmental stages through which embryo goes out. Mostly the mother sits on the egg to keep it warm. You know this process? That is the incubation, because they require some warmth to get mature, to get some nutrients, right? And to activate the enzymes which are present in that nutrient structure. For that part, they have to provide the incubation. And for this incubation, mostly mother will sit on the egg, because mothers are having more love for their parents, for their child, na? Yes, it is like that? No. Both mother and father are loving their child. But as father has to move out for their getting food, that mother will keep their children, their eggs safe. Now see, the baby bird develops fully. It breaks open the eggshell and comes out, and this process is called hatching. Clear these things? The baby birds will develop fully inside the embryo, and then this it will break the eggshell layer, right? And it will open the eggshell and it will come out. That is the process of hatching. The parent birds feed and protect the young bird until they can look after themselves. That is the same thing which is there in the giving birth type of category. The baby bird grows into an adult, and again all the stages of development from the embryo to a mature adult make up a complete life cycle. See, if the bird was there, then they will lay eggs. From this egg, we are having the that hatching process and the chick. From this chick, we are having the adult one. Now, again, this adult one will go to the same cycle, right? So, this cycle goes on, that is called life cycle. So, that was about the birds. Now, see, what do you observe in this image? Yes, we are having adult frog over here. So, this adult frog is there, which will lay eggs after some time. From this eggs, you can see embryo is developing, right? See, so many eggs were there. But from this eggs, we can find out two embryo over here. Now from this two embryo, the tadpoles clinging to water plant. Because you know that these frogs will lay eggs in water only. So now these eggs will turn to tadpole. This tadpole is baby frog. Because from embryo you know na, baby bird is there. So this tadpole is the name for the baby frog. So this tadpole will be clinging to the water plant because as they are living in water, after that external gills for breathing are developed. See, can you see this one? External gills are getting developed from their baby. Then the tail keeps growing. As you can see, the tail was firstly this much in size, but after time pass, the tail is continuously growing. After some time, hind legs appear. Can you see this? These legs are appeared. That is the back one. Then this leaves from food stored in the tail. See, as the tail is growing, right? So they will storing some food inside them. So from the stored food, they will get the nutrition. And after somewhat time, the front legs appear. That was the back legs. But this one now, the front legs are appearing. From this, tail becomes shorter and shorter. See, as the legs are developing, now they can jump from one place to another place, right? They can move from one place to another place to get their food. So now no more requirement of stored food. So after some time, when the legs are appearing, the tail will become shorter. As you have seen, the tails was firstly growing, right? But as the legs are appearing, this tail is becoming shorter. Now this tadpole has become young frog. And as the young frog is getting matured, that is called adult frog, right? So now again it will lay some eggs. Again it will be growing into embryo stage. Again this tadpole stage will be there. Again the tail will become longer and longer. It will store the food. Again it will be having the legs. Again the front legs will be appearing. Then the tail like structure will get shorter. Again it will become a, yes, young frog, and then again it will become adult. Clear? So this cycle continuously going on with the young child, right? So the female frog, now we are going to learn something about the frogs. So the female frog lays hundreds of eggs at a time in a lake or pond. As you have seen in this image, that this frog, that is a female frog, right? So this female frog lay thousands of eggs. In this one, we are observing only 6. But in general, in original things, they will lay thousands of eggs, right? In the lake or pond. You have to remember this part. As you know that frog is amphibian, they can live on land as well as in water. But for this egg part, they will lay their eggs in the water only. This large clusters of eggs are called spawns, right? How will you pronounce it? Spawns. So the cluster of eggs is known as spawns. Tiny tadpole, that is the baby frog, hatch out of the egg. So first this tadpole will attach to the water plant. After some time it gets the nutrition and it will hatch out of the egg. Now they will swim in water and look like a fish, as we have seen in the picture. They will be having some tail-like structure. Imagine as the tadpole. They have this tail-like structure. To this, they are swimming in the water. And they will look like a fish too. Now a tadpole starts to grow legs after a few weeks. So after a few weeks, it will develop some, yes, hind legs, as we have seen in that last picture now. So that back legs were first developed. Tadpoles' tails become shorter and shorter and finally disappear, and they develop into an adult frog. So the back legs will be developed, but as the front legs are developed, the tails will become shorter, and after some time it may disappear, right? And this frog will become a adult frog. See, this tadpole undergoes several changes before it becomes an adult. As we have seen in this image, that they are having so many stages, right? To become an adult frog. So this all the stages are called metamorphosis. How will you pronounce it? Metamorphosis. This is metamorphosis. So metamorphosis is a process that is there in the developmental stages, that the egg of the frog is going certain developmental stages to become an adult frog. That is called metamorphosis. How will you pronounce this? Metamorphosis. Morphosis is related to their body structure. The changes are there in the body structure, right? So that is called metamorphosis. Now see, what are the difference between a tadpole and adult frog? See, as you know, tadpole is baby frog. So what is the difference between the tadpole and adult frog? So the tadpole looks like a fish and live in water. It will only live in water. But this adult frog is amphibious and it can live both on land as well as water. So the baby frog, that is a tadpole, which will live only in the water. But this adult frog can live on land as well as in water. This baby frog has a tail-like structure, but as it becomes adult, it does not have any kind of tail-like structure. Okay? See, this tadpole breathes through their gills. The gills are the structure, na? That external structure for the breathing. But when this adult frog is there, it will breathe through lungs as well as the skin. After the tadpole grows to an adult stage, it does not have that much gills. They will breathe through their skin when they go in the water, and when they are living on land, they will breathe through their lungs. Okay? Now see, the next the animal is cockroach. Okay, so that is something looking like a cycle again. So that is a life cycle of a cockroach. So what is there in the life cycle of a cockroach? From where we have to start? Yes, you know this one, na? Have you seen this? Okay. Now see, this adult cockroach is there. Now this adult cockroach is ready to fly, right? They can fly from one place to another place as we have discussed. So now this adult cockroach will lay some eggs, right? So the first stage is they become adult and then they will lay eggs. Now from this egg, the baby cockroach is called nymph. The baby cockroach is called nymph. So what is the structured difference? As you can see that there are 6 legs, right? Or you can say 3 pair of legs are there. This is also having a 3 pair structure, 3 pair of legs like structure. But what is the difference between these two? As you can see, this adult cockroach is having 2 wings. But in this structure, no wings. Although they are having legs, but they are not having the wings to fly. So that structure is called nymph. How will you pronounce? Nymph. And how will you spell it? Nymph. Right? So this baby cockroach is called nymph, which does not have a wing-like structure. Okay? So this baby cockroach cannot fly. And as the nymph is growing in their size, after some time it will become adult and it will have some wings to fly. So what is the difference between this adult cockroach and nymph? Nymph does not have any kind of wings to fly, but this adult has wings to fly. Clear these things to you? Okay. Now we are going to learn the life cycle of insect. So all insect lay eggs. Now you know all the birds and all the insect lay eggs, and that is their method for the reproduction. So many of them go through several stages before growing into adults. As we have seen for the frog, that they are growing in certain stages, becoming mature, right? So the baby cockroach that hatches out from the egg looks like an adult but has no wings. So that the structure without a wing is called nymph, right? We have discussed in the last image. The young one that is looking like a cockroach, but it cannot fly. Why it cannot fly? Because they are not having a wing-like structure. And that wing, without having a wing-like structure is called nymph, right? As we have seen, the baby frog is called a tadpole. This baby cockroach is called nymph. It sheds its skin several times before developing into an adult, right? So as they become adult, they will shed their skin, right? So how they will shed their skin? That is the certain stages. Shedding of old skin is called molting. That is the process. How will you pronounce it? Molting. So this molting is the process in which the cockroach, the baby cockroach, or you can say the nymph, will shed its skin, right? So the shedding of the skin is called molting. The grasshoppers, locusts, termites also go through the same stages of the development as the insect, as we have seen for the cockroach, right? So this grasshopper, termites, all the insects will follow the same life cycle stages. Now, something which you like the most, that is a butterfly. So now we are going to learn about the butterfly. As you know, birds are laying eggs, insects are laying eggs. So now the next insect is there, that is butterfly. As you know, this butterfly will lay eggs on the back side of the leaf. As you can see, the egg is there on the leaf only, right? So this butterfly will lay so many eggs on the back side of the leaf. That is not the front side. You have to remember this. Back side of the leaf. From this egg, it will generate a caterpillar structure. What kind of structure is there? Yes, caterpillar structure. From this caterpillar, it will become a structure like this called pupa. How will you pronounce it? Pupa. Clear? From this pupa, the butterfly will come out, and that is the adult butterfly. So these are the developmental stages of the butterfly. That this butterfly will lay eggs. From this eggs, the caterpillar will comes out, and from this caterpillar, it will generate the pupa, and from this pupa stage, it will emerge out as a butterfly. So these stages are the developmental stages of the butterfly. So what is there in this one? Butterfly and moth go through 4 stages in the life cycle, becoming an adult, before becoming an adult. As we have seen for the butterfly in that picture, that there are something stages. And it also shows the metamorphosis. How will you pronounce? Metamorphosis. And what do you mean by the metamorphosis? Yes, becoming an adult. Before becoming an adult, the embryo is going into certain stages. That is developmental stages. And that developmental stages is known as metamorphosis. So the female butterfly lays eggs in a cluster. Cluster, that is a so many eggs, or you can say thousands of eggs on the back part of a leaf. The eggs hatch into young ones, that is called larva. That larva stage was caterpillar, right? The larva of a butterfly is called caterpillar. So from butterfly, we are having eggs. From this egg, it will come out as the caterpillar stage, right? Or you can say larva is there. From this larva, it is there on the leaves only, right? So now this larva will get the nutrition from this leaf, right? So this caterpillar, it lives and grows, right? So as it grows, it forms a shell called cocoon. How will you pronounce? Cocoon. The shell of this larva is called cocoon around the body. And this stage, which we have seen, that is called pupa, right? So from egg, we are having the caterpillar, or you can say the larva. From this caterpillar, it will form a shell around them, that is called a pupa stage. And from this pupa, the adult butterfly will come out, right? And this adult butterfly again lay eggs, again will go to the same stages. So these are the different 4 stages: the egg, the caterpillar, or you can say the larva. From this larva, we are having pupa. And as the pupa gets mature, the butterfly will emerge out. Clear these things? Okay. Now the next thing is there regarding fish. See, as the fish is there, the salmon fish is there, na? So this salmon fish will lay eggs. From this eggs, we are having certain stages. Can you see this? You don't have to remember the stages for the fish, but just go through that part, that eggs are growing into certain stages. Alvins, then the baby fish, you have to remember this part, that is the baby fish is called fry, right? This baby fish will develop into a par, and from this par again it will develop some certain stages. Can you see these changes are there? Now it has developed gills like structure as well as fins are there. It is called smolt. But when it becomes large in their size, that becomes adult salmon. So these are the development stages of the fish. So it also lay thousands of eggs in water. But these eggs don't have any kind of shell-like structure to protect them, right? See, as they are not having a shell-like structure around the egg, so there will be no protection. So only few eggs will be there from which we are having the adult fish. Not all the eggs will give us fish because they don't have a shell. So it will get harmed and it will get dead, right? So for that part, we are not having that much babies just like the eggs. They have a jelly around them to protect them from water. They don't have any shell-like structure, but they are having jelly-like a structure to prevent themselves from the water. Baby fish, that is the fry, hatch out of the egg. Then most of the eggs and the baby fish are eaten by the other fish. As you know, the fish also requires some food. So the larger fish will eat these eggs, right? And they will eat the baby fish too, right? So most of the eggs and baby fish are eaten by the large animals, that is a large fish. So some of the eggs, or you can say the few eggs, grow into an adult fish. Clear these things? What you have to remember? They don't have a shell-like structure, but they are having a jelly-like structure to prevent themselves in the water. And what do you call the baby fish? Yes, that is the fry. Now see, the next thing is there about the crocodile. So as you see in this picture, we are having one adult crocodile. So this adult crocodile will lay eggs over here. From this eggs, when the baby get mature, it will come out. That is a process of hatching. And from this one, we are having one baby crocodile, that is called croclet. That is the baby crocodile. Okay. So when this baby crocodile will get mature, it will become an adult. Now again it will lay eggs. Again from this eggs we will be having one croclet, and again it will goes to become an adult. So just like this crocodile goes on their life cycle. Now see, mother crocodile digs shallow in sandy river banks to lay eggs. So, if the sandy river bank is there, so near to the river area, there will be sand, right? So, in this sandy area, they will dig shallow. It will not dig that much. It will dig shallow. Then, they will lay eggs over there. As you can see, some legs are there. Then they cover the eggs with the sand and guard them. Now, again, they will cover this area and they will do the guarding. Now, they will try to keep their eggs safe over there. When the babies hatch, it digs away the sand and sets them free. Now the baby is free, right? Now it get all the nutrients. Again it will become adult. Now this new becoming adult will lay eggs, and from these eggs again they will come out the new crocodile. Okay? So that was about the crocodile life cycle. Now see, we are going to learn something about turtles. So what do you mean by the turtles? Have you seen turtles? Yes. So these turtles and tortoise dig holes in the sand and lay their eggs there, just like the crocodile. They covered them with the sand and leave them to hatch. That was the same thing like the crocodile. Now the young ones hatch out and move to the nearest water. Clear these things to you? So the crocodile life cycle in this turtle, they will lay eggs in the sand area, right? So they will dig holes over there and they will keep their eggs to save it, and after some time they will cover the sand over there, and after some time the baby gets matured and it will come out, and again it will move to the nearest water area. Clear these things to you? Okay, good.